Dustcheck's filter controllers comprises of a 3-digit display panel, a keypad consisting of 3 keys, 3 sets of jumpers to set input and output voltages, where the settings are marked on the covers as well as the board itself, a set of input and output terminals, a fuse holder. For this demonstration, the power supply to the controller should be off and isolated. Before we start with any adjustments, it is important to have the jumpers in their correct positions. Jumper 1, marked JP1 on the board, is for the input voltage. For AC supplies, this should be set to your input voltage, either 115 volts or 230 volts. Both jumpers need to be set to the correct voltage, with 115 volts being the lower one. Jumper 2, marked JP2 on the board, is for the output voltage. There are 3 available settings: 24, 115, and 230 volts. Set the jumper to the correct voltage according to the piece of equipment your controller is attached to. The remaining jumper 3, marked as JP3 on the board, sets the type of output voltage, either AC or DC. Please note, for a DC selection, jumper 2 must be set to 24 volts. Failure to set this correctly can damage the board. The next step is to make the wiring connections. Supply voltage is made through terminals 1, 2, and 3. Live in 1, neutral in 2, earth in 3. Terminals 4 and 5 provide the ability to detect a fault should you wish to use it. They require a power supply and are rated for 5 amps and 250 volts. With power supplied and in a no-fault condition, there is a closed circuit. An open circuit occurs if a fault is present. The display provides some indication to the type of fault, which starts with the letter E followed by other numbers. Terminals 12 and 13 are voltage-free connections and require no external power. These are used if you require the controller to go through a series of cleaning cycles after the airflow through the filter has stopped. You must close the contacts to signify that airflow is present, if the fan is operating, for instance. It is recommended to keep the number of cycles to a minimum to avoid damage to the filter media. Since this is an open and closed circuit, it can equally be controlled from a pressure switch, where the switch opens upon the pressure falling to a value that indicates little or no airflow. When this is enabled and the circuit is open, indicating no airflow through the filter unit, a dash followed by a 0 and another dash are displayed on the control panel. This brings us to the final 2 input connections, which are numbered 14 and 15. These provide the ability to control the stopping and starting of the controller via a remote signal. Again, it is volt-free, and the contacts should be closed to enable cleaning. The type of input signal can be set for an external pressure switch. When the circuit is open, cleaning continues until the cycle is complete and the display shows P. Or, where a pressure switch is not used, the display shows the word OFF. All that remains is to connect the output live, common, and earth to the solenoids using the output terminals. Once all the connections have been made and tested, power can be applied to the controller. For further information on any of Dustcheck's products, please get in touch.